Hello and welcome to Cleaning Day. No, you're not going to watch me clean my room. You're going to watch me break down and clean this airbrush. This is a requested video by a number of people that want to know how I break down, clean my airbrush, rebuild it, put it back together, do whatever so it's ready for the next job. So without further ado, let's get busy. So what airbrush are we breaking down today? We are breaking down the Custom Micron CMC. I've had this thing for about 20 years. I've only had to rebuild it a couple times, and that's because of user error. I would drop it or do something stupid and bend the fluid nozzle or, bend the needle beyond repair. So I swear by this brush. I love this brush. It's got me through so many jobs that I can't even count anymore. I'm going to be using just regular paint reducer. Some brushes. I think I got these on Amazon, to be honest with you. And it's really not too hard to do. Most airbrushes are pretty much the same. Let me dump this paint out. You can see that this thing has been used for quite a while, used and abused, as it should be, because if your airbrushes aren't used, then you're not airbrushing enough, in my opinion. Wipe this cup out, get it cleaned up, and then once we get this cup cleaned out, we can start breaking this whole thing down. There we go. And we're just doing this just so we don't get a bunch of paint everywhere. All right. Take the protective cap off, then always draw the needle out first. I like to draw the needle. Oh, look, it's even stuck because it's been in here so long. If your needle gets stuck, twist the needle nut and pull the trigger back. That you will usually draw the needle in and make it easier to slide out. Now, because I'm going to take this entire thing apart to clean, I'm going to take the back apart. I'm going to take the nut off. Take the springs out. And like I said, most airbrushes are built pretty much the same. Sometimes the trigger setup might be a little different, or the fluid nozzle setup might be a little different, but they're all generally the same, and all the parts that you want to clean are all the same. So you can see that there's an O-ring right inside there that keeps all the air in and pushing through these little holes right there. This stuff is so microscopic that you got to be pretty careful with it. If you're not super careful with it, you can bend a couple pieces, parts that you will have to replace. What I like about Iwata too is a lot of their stuff is easily replaceable. CoastAirbrush.com. They have any part you need to fix your airbrushes. So right here's the fluid nozzle. I ran out of storage, but let's get back to it. This piece here is the piece that you don't want to use any type of pliers or anything for. You want to use this little tool right here, because I have done that before where I'll go try to take this off and I'll slip and I'll bend this, I'll crimp it or something, and then you're screwed. So take this little wrench right here, unscrew that bad daddy, and you can see in my hand how tiny this thing is. So with these brushes, what I really like about these brushes, and this one really doesn't have any hair left anymore, but it doesn't really matter too much, because you're really just going to stab some of the paint out of there like this. So I'm just clearing all the paint out of there, freeing up any of the areas and the creases and crevices of the nozzle, and then I'm just going to dunk that in there. Same thing with this. I am going to take a little bit of paint reducer and run it right through. Now this thing is one size. It doesn't taper or anything. So you can usually get a brush through there pretty pretty easily. Just like that. Oh, yeah, baby. Okay. After that, because those are the two main parts right there. Paint goes through that right there. So if that's not clean, then you're going to have some problems. Everything else here, I don't want to say is more cosmetic than anything else, but it's more cosmetic than anything else. Just cleaning out some of that. Again, the paint doesn't go, the paint sits in here, but it doesn't get drawn out. Those two pieces there is where all the magic happens. So again, I'm just cleaning out my cup. Like that, making sure all the old paint's out. I want to make sure all the old paint's out of there. If it's not out of there, then it'll just contaminate your next color and blah, blah, blah. So you want that to be the cleanest part of where the paint sits. All right, I don't know where my other brush is, so I'm just going to use this just to get in here. To get some of that out, because there's just a little extra that's hardened underneath the needle. Sometimes in this airbrush, there will be some paint that kind of sits underneath this needle and settles. So yeah, just get that out. Again, it's just going to contaminate your next color if you let it sit in there too long. All right, now back to the other brush. Let me grab another brush. All right, here we go. I got a cheapo nylon brush here, and I'm going to get, come on, these two pieces out. Clean these off really good. Where are we at? It's like fishing. I know something's in here, but it's not biting. Come on. Where the hell did you go? There you are, you little bugger. Okay, so again, I want to make sure that all these holes over here are cleaned out. I don't want any paint restriction. If any of these holes here are not clean, then you can get bubble back into your cup. And that is frustrating as heck. It'll spit. Yeah, it'll bubble out. It'll get all over your shirt. And then you're just going to look like a slob. You don't have to have paint all over your clothes to be considered a painter. Just so you know, you're allowed to be clean. You're allowed to look clean. You don't have to have paint all over your pants to prove to anybody that you're a painter. All right, now same thing here. Just cleaning the inside out just a little bit more. I know that's already clean, and you should probably have gloves on when you're doing this, but that's all right. This is just a quick little demo. Now what I'm going to do is I oil up all the back mechanisms of my airbrushes, and after a while of stagnation, they can get a little gummy. So I like to clean all that off as well. Get all that old oil out of there before I add new oil. And the oil that I do use, I'll show you, it's called Super Lube. It's a real nice oil. It's lightweight, works well. I've never had any trouble with it, but I'm also very particular about where I add it. I don't just throw it all over the place. I want to keep it away from the paint. I want to keep it away from the front end of the brush. Just keep it on the back side where it belongs. You know, you don't need the two to mix. Not necessary. And again, clean out the cup, clean the top out so it's nice and clean when you're done. So when you move on to the next job, it's ready for you. Like I said, this brush has been in my possession for 20 years, and I don't want it to look like a 20-year-old airbrush. I want it to look like the day I got it, because it's an investment. These things are a lot of money. They're hundreds of dollars. So why would you treat something that you spent hundreds of dollars like a bastard, you know? Take care of your stuff. All right, so that is about as clean as I clean it. Now, I'm going to grab the lube, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so one thing that I do want to do first is I always put the back end together. You always want to put the back end together. You don't want to add the needle last or till last. You want to keep all of your tiny bits for the end. So let's see. I'm going to put this back in. Nope. I'm going to put this back in first. Here we go. Like that. And right before I start turning it in a lot, I'm going to take one little drop of lube here. Add just to that. And then I'm going to take the lube also, and I'm going to drop it inside the middle. I'm going to draw this back. I don't know if you can see. Draw this back. Add one little drop of lube right in there, because that goes where the trigger goes. You know the trigger's set in when you can feel it pushing down on the valve. All right, put the needle nut on. Then I'm going to put this on. Some people put oil right here. I've never needed to. I also don't trust it. Like I said, I don't want any oil where the paint goes. I want to keep those two things separate because I don't want any fisheyes laid around on the road. Some people say it helps seal. That's fine. Go ahead and seal your airbrush if you want to. I'd rather have a smidge of a leak than any problems. So this too also, remember, these pieces are so fine that you don't need to over tighten it. So this is loose, it's snug. I'm just going to give it just a little wiggle, and that's it. You don't want to tighten it. I have broken this off inside the head before, and it's a nightmare to get out. So don't do that. All right, put the cap on. Slide the needle in. See it come through. That's a good sign. And I'm just going to clean anything off of there. Whoops, hold on. I didn't put that on yet. So let's take this off. All right, I'm gonna take this out. Forgot about the little trigger piece that slides in. Now some airbrushes, this piece is connected to the trigger, but for the case of the Micron, it's not. So it's a pain in the butt sometimes, just like this time. Oh, you bastard. Can't believe I forgot that. All right, well, let's take the back side of the needle. Make sure it's the back side of the needle. Fish that bad dog out. You're seeing me in my element now. There we go. All right. You have to put it in sideways and give it kind of a twist. It's a pain in the butt, but especially if it's oily. Come on. Sometimes it slides in. It's like playing Operation, which not sure if you noticed this or not, but I am no surgeon. Come on, straighten out, you bastard. I don't know why this is giving me such a hard time today. It usually falls right into place. Give it a little twist. And I'm leaving this all in unedited because you know what? I've taken this thing apart 1,000 times. And I'll take it apart 1,000 more. And I'm having problems with it. Sometimes you just have a problem with something. I don't get it. What the hell is going on here? There we go. Settle in, you jerk. Settle in. Making me look like a damn fool. Now it's stuck up front. What the hell is going on around here today? All right. There. Oh, so dumb. All right. Put that back on. Now, Jesus. Okay. Let's put the needle back in. Carefully. Put the nut on. And I don't know where my original cap for this is. So this is just a cap, I think, from... What is that? HPCS. And I did dunk my cap in here. Clean that off too, and then we're done. Then we're done. Biggest struggle of the whole day was that one little piece. But I do recommend, if you're going to start getting into high-end work, the Iwata Custom Micron. Well, now that that frustrating little piece is in there, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please throw it down in the comment section. I'll get back to you. If not in the comment section, then I will make a video specifically to the answer of the question or the problem that you're having to help you out the best way I can. So again, thank you for watching. Let me know if you need anything, and we'll see you next time.